Hello and good evening, YouTube friends and family. This is Mama Robin or Texas Speech Mom, whichever you prefer. And I think I'm back. Maybe. Anyway, welcome everyone. I hope y'all are doing good, as I am at the moment. I made a video a couple weeks ago, said I was coming back, and I haven't been back. There's been a few more changes and developments. Good news is my daughter's been down, so that's always makes me happy. But I've had a couple of health scares. I am seeing a doctor, and I'm got it under control at the moment. Not quite ready to talk about it yet, but I probably will eventually. But at the moment, I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm trying to come back. It's just a matter now of finding the time, but mostly the energy. Anyhow, so for right now, I'm here. This is going to be a short video. It's going to be I'm going to talk about one video in a little bit, but I'm also giving you quick updates. Like I said, there's been a few health scares, but I'm talking to a doctor, so we're working on it. Let's see. There will be some Chris Watts videos coming up. Matter of fact, one of them tonight's going to be, the short one's going to be briefly about him. And for those who are the fans of the Lady Bird Lake videos, there's been a new murder at Lady Bird Lake. There was a body pulled Saturday. I don't have any more information on it. Police hasn't released it yet. Hopefully they release the information in a couple of days and I can get a video out to you. Now, I don't have any more to do. I haven't heard any more about the Houston Bayous. So I don't know what's going on with that. But Lady Bird Lake, this makes like its 25th person or something like that. I'll have to look at that again. In like 3 years. That's a lot of people. And I don't believe all those are accidental drownings. I don't even believe half are accidental. Most of us don't. So that hopefully will get covered in more detail over the next couple days. Now, on to the Watts case. There's been a flurry of videos coming out. Our old friend True Crime Rocket Science has done a video. I think I saw it a couple weeks ago, and it was a couple weeks old then. So about a month ago. I don't remember the name of it. I'll have to go look at it again. But I'm sure he blames Shanann because that's typically what he does. He's very good at it. ATS has had a couple come up that I want to check out. Plus, she's got something come up in a couple days that I'm going to watch. One of them, she talks about all the lies in the case, and I think one of them was something about Nicole didn't want Shanann murdered. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really watched them. I just saw the thumbnail. So I'll have to dive into those. And one of the people I subscribe to, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of her channel because she changed the name of it. And I can't remember the name of the old channel now to give you an idea. But she did a couple of videos on the books written about Chris Watts. And she's reviewed the books. And she was, in one of the videos, she was talking about how she was going to point out the facts and the fiction. Now, as far as the Sherilyn Cagle book goes, I think there's two of them, we know there's fiction in those because she admitted that she lied. She admitted that she made some of it up. She admitted to it. So we know there's a lot of fiction in that, but there's also some fact in it. On the Dylan Tomlin books, I think he was honest. I don't know him. I've never met him. I've never talked to him. I've talked to his girlfriend very briefly a couple times in comments. I don't know them. The vibe I get from him is that he's being honest. I think he did this based on what he was told by Chris. And that doesn't mean Chris was being honest with him, but I think his part was honest. And then there's a few other books that they seem to be pretty upfront. But anyway, she not only reviews these books, but like I said, she points out the facts and the fiction. So I want to dive into those because I'm kind of curious how she determines what's fact and what's fiction, and what research or what proof she has on things that she's going to call fiction. Like, I want to know, okay, so if she's calling this part of the book fiction, what proof does she have it's fiction? I mean, because really, honestly, the only two people that know are Chris and Shanann. We know where Chris is at, and we know where Shanann's at. So those are the only people that truly know. That know the whole story. Nicole probably knows most of it. So I want to catch up on those. And then Real Killers. I saw a video today. Matter of fact, I watched it twice. I watched it once, and then just to make sure I didn't misunderstand something or that I saw everything correctly, I watched twice today. It's an 18-minute video, and first of all, I respect him greatly. Like, as a content creator, I respect him, and I respect his content. So, but when it said family dynamics, it made me cautious, because a lot of times people like to use the family dynamics to blame it on Shanann. Well, if she hadn't done this and she hadn't done that and blah, 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 she wouldn't be dead today. Well, you can't do that. I mean, you can. People do it. You shouldn't be doing that, because she is not the cause of her own death. Basically, the basic on that one as well. She was horrible. She was mean, and she was bitchy, and she didn't bitch so much, he wouldn't have killed her. He has no right to kill her. Doesn't matter if she was rude or bitchy or whatever. And I didn't see her necessarily as bitchy. There's a difference. I saw her as a boss lady. You know, there's a difference between a boss lady and being bossy, and then there's a difference between being bossy and bitchy. So there's different levels to that, but whatever. Anyhow, so I just feel like that she was a boss lady, and he was a whiny bitch baby. Like, and when you have, that is a dynamic that is not a good dynamic. When you have a powerful woman, bossy or boss lady type, and then you have a whiny bitch baby like Chris, that's not a good dynamic. And if, in fact, I am correct, and if, in fact, he's a narcissist, so if he's a narcissist and a whiny bitch baby, and most of them are, if you get right down to the core of their personality, most of them are whiny bitch babies. Chris was a whiny bitch baby. Or still is. I don't know anything about him, really. He was a whiny bitch baby. So, anyway, I watched this video to make, not once, but twice. It's an 18-minute video, to make sure that I was getting it correctly. Not at one time, when he was examining the family dynamics, did he get into any part that Shanann might be responsible for. He got into mostly the dynamics between Shanann and Chris's mother. And he was trying to figure out, would Chris had done this had Nicole not come into his life? And what seemed to be his answer on this is he believes Chris was quite capable of this without Nicole. And I agree, and I've said this before. I agree he probably would have done it eventually. I think Nicole might have been a catalyst, like she might have pushed it along. And I believe Mom was a catalyst, and I believe Sister Jamie was a catalyst. I believe between the three of them, I mean, I believe there was already fissures. There was already deep cracks in their relationship. I believe that Shanann, at some point, realized there was problems and might have been trying to fix it. But I think he'd already determined in his head it was done. He'd already kind of checked out. And I think Nicole was just more, it was like pouring gasoline on the fire. You know what I mean? Like, there was already a fire there, and Nicole was the gasoline. They just keep dumping gasoline on it. So I do believe that she was a catalyst, but I also believe that he was a narcissist, and I also believe that he would have done it eventually anyway. And that's kind of the stand he seems to be taking with his video. He didn't use the same exact words that I did, but that's kind of what I gleaned from it. If anybody wants to go watch it, it's Real, R-E-E-L, as in a movie Real Killers, in case you haven't found his channel before. And it talks about family dynamics. I think it came out like yesterday. I saw it today. So, with all that being said, I will always stand by the fact that I believe with all my heart he was a narcissist. I believe he was a whiny bitch baby. I believe he still is a whiny bitch baby. I believe she was a strong, independent, free-thinking female. I believe Chris was raised more traditionally. Like the man has to be the leader and the whatever. It didn't turn out, but I think that's the way he was taught. And I believe she was raised that women should be empowered and they should do their own thing. And those two combinations don't work well either. So not only do you have a woman that was raised to be strong and independent and free-thinking female and knew what she wanted and wanted how to do it, but I believe that he couldn't live up to being the man that his dad or his mom thought he should be. Maybe his dad was trying to make a man of him, or what the dad perceived as a man, and maybe mom coddled him. And I'm not using the right terms, so bear with me. So I'm not saying that necessarily was the problem, but I believe that was part of the problem. Because it came from somewhere. Of all the studies I've seen, I don't think narcissists are born narcissists. I think they're turned into them. There might be some sort of genetic code and all that. So again, I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to do more research on that to get to that. But yeah, that pretty much summed this one up. He didn't at any time feel like he blamed Shanann at all. He didn't even really bring up Shanann's faults as much as he brought up the dynamic that Shanann, or Chris's mom and Shanann, and Shanann's mom Sandy, and Chris's mom Sandy. And what a woman she was. So that seemed to be the gist of it. Watch it, see what you think. I am going to try very hard to get back on a schedule. Because I had been gone such a long time. And then, like I said, I popped in a couple of weeks ago with the intention of coming back. And between my daughter popping in and back and forth to the doctor a little bit for a while, I've got to find the time and the strength, the energy. But I'm working on it. And I think that's it for tonight. I hope everybody's been doing good. I've missed y'all. I really haven't had it in me. Not just here, but I just physically haven't had it in me. So I hope everybody's doing good. I hope to be getting back on somewhat of a schedule. I love y'all. I've missed y'all. And of course, if there's a birthday I've missed, you got one coming, happy birthday or happy belated birthday. Same with your anniversary. If I missed your wedding anniversary or something, happy anniversary. All right. So I should have a video up by Saturday on the Lady Bird Lake thing, because that will be a week. That information should be floating around out there somewhere. And like I said, I don't think the Lady Bird Lake and the Houston bayous are connected, but I do think it's weird that we're having all these mysterious deaths in these waterways, like these different lakes and these different streams, and the bayous are in Houston and so forth and so on. I do think it's a little bit weird. I do think there's been too many deaths at Lady Bird Lake in such a short span of time for them to be accidents. So we'll see what I come up with by hopefully no later than Saturday. All right? Hang tight. Don't lose faith. I'm trying. In the meantime, y'all be good. I love y'all, and have a good one. Good night.